interesting. So this is
there's
really
a lot
cool,
on this rock too.
Oh,
just
yeah.
to think this is the bottom of the sea.
That might be the other side.
Look at this.
It looks
right
very
here.
similar, yeah.
Yeah. And there's some
There we go.
shells. Oh look.
PRI was founded in 1932 by a Cornell professor who had a disagreement with the university and basically took his collections and his printing enterprise and founded his own institution. Today we're located across Cayuga Lake from Cornell, but we are officially affiliated with the university, and many of our staff teach graduate and undergraduate students at Cornell. We take care of all of Cornell's non-botanical fossils. Our fossil collection is one of the largest in the United States.
But PRI education reaches far beyond upstate New York. PRI serves teachers and students across the country with innovative approaches to teaching and learning earth and environmental sciences at a time when these subjects have never been so important.
What we support financially, personally and institutionally, reflects our values, reflects what we think is important. Today there's so many needs, so many problems and challenges that we confront as a country and as a society, and resources are finite. But what we can't fix right now will have to be fixed in the future, and that means education, especially science education, and particularly earth science education.
The 21st century is basically about Earth system science. Everything that we read about in the newspapers, from feeding populations, being concerned about climate change, worrying about biodiversity loss, everything from energy to conservation is in one way or another an Earth system science issue. And that's what we're about.
Many of our outreach programs and our educational programs relate to the idea of helping people better understand the Earth as a system and a system of systems, and the outcomes of the interactions of different systems. So the living stuff on Earth, how that interacts with rocks and soil, and how that interacts with atmosphere, and how that interacts with water. And trying to figure out how to help educators and the learners they work with to grapple with all of those interactions is really a big part of what we do, and a common theme in a lot of our educational programming.
PRI's Teacher-Friendly Guide series offers teachers in all regions of the country the kind of locally focused resources that they need to engage students in the earth science they see in their own backyards, including the vitally important topics of climate change and evolution.
Each guide covers a variety of subjects, from geologic history to rocks to fossils to minerals to fossil fuels. And the big picture, what we mean by the big picture is, what does this mean really? What do students really need to take away from learning about the earth science of their backyard? They may not remember the fossils 40 years from now, but we hope they'll remember the big ideas.
PRI's Fossil Finders project gives teachers and their students hands-on experience with real paleontological research, so they can see how science really works. PRI educators have pioneered the use of virtual field experiences, digital explorations of specific localities, not to replace getting into the field, but to encourage more in-depth examination and bring the field into the classroom. Ultimately, these experiences can stimulate more hands-on experience in the field for both teachers and students.
I feel that it is so important for students to get fieldwork experience, even if it starts in a virtual environment, for them to know that when they go out, they're looking for things. You don't just go walk a trail. You go walk a trail to look for what happened, and it's not just a rock, it's a story. You've got to find the story.
I think one of my favorite stories about the implementation of virtual fieldwork in my classroom just has to do with student reflections on the process. You just always got these great ideas about how students were learning about how scientists think. For example, one of my favorite quotes is from a rather reluctant student who finished his reflection with the quote, "These rocks really do tell a story." And I think whenever kids can tell their story of why a place looks the way it does to other students, that's just so incredibly powerful. And you know, we get kids teaching other kids, they're really going to remember that.
PRI's Virtual Field Experience project has reached more than 700 teachers in more than 20 states, ultimately impacting thousands of students across the country.
The reason that we do what we do is really not only for the present, but for future generations.
We're a small organization in an out-of-the-way place, but we have a disproportionately large effect on earth science education in the United States. But we could do a lot more.
Support us in our work, make it so that we can do more of the important things that we're doing. So helping educators know about the resources and programming that we do here, and helping the general public know about the resources and programming that we do here, and make sure that you're supporting your legislators in backing science education and thinking about the nature of science education as well.
If we don't get earth science right, if enough of us don't understand earth science in the 21st century, we will not do well and we will not get another chance. You should support PRI because PRI is addressing these vital issues right now. With your help, we can do a lot more. Thank you.